The flashback keeps getting better and better and better. But before that, guys, obviously we got to talk about the cover page. Welcome to my review or my discussion of One Piece chapter 964. My name is Brago, and I am super excited to talk about this chapter because it was so good. First, the cover page. The Germ pirates have started to wreak havoc on Dressrosa. My quick thoughts are that I feel bad for the people of Dressrosa. They literally just went through the stuff with Doflamingo, and now they're dealing with the Germ pirates. They have the absolute worst luck, so hopefully we get past this really soon because this cover story is going downhill at this point. It's been okay, but now I'm like, all right, let's wrap this up. So it's One Piece chapter 964. In this chapter, Oden is still trying to join Whitebeard, and in chapter 963, Oden had an epic clash with Whitebeard because, in my opinion, he was testing Whitebeard to make sure he was the type of guy that he could follow into battle or just follow to be on his pirate ship. In this chapter, it starts off with Oden still telling Whitebeard or asking Whitebeard to take him with them. On one hand, his retainers are telling him, well, you can't go out to sea because it's forbidden to leave Wano. On the other hand, Whitebeard's subordinates are telling Oden, well, you just tried to kill the captain. And then we get into dialogue with Whitebeard and Oden because now things are settled down. They're eating, I assume, Oden, and they start to discuss why Oden really can't be on the ship. Whitebeard tells him, you know what? You're the type of guy that wouldn't be content with being a follower. Personally, I know what happens when a bunch of people like that band together because the last crew that I was a part of, they had this issue. This is very clear that Whitebeard is still suffering from PTSD going through the Rocks Pirates debacle because that was even highlighted by Kaido when Kaido said, hey, I don't want too many conquerors in my crew because these guys on the Rocks Pirates, having Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, Rocks himself, Shiki, having all these strong personalities on one crew led to his demise, and Whitebeard, he's trying to start a family. So for Whitebeard, Oden joining his crew was actually dangerous to his family, or at least that's how he was viewing it. And for this, he would obviously care more than he did with the Rocks Pirates because now he's starting his own family, he's trying to build. This is something he really cares about. So that's why he's rejecting Oden. Oden doesn't deny that he's that type of person that he doesn't want to be a follower, but he says that he has no skill or talent when it comes to sailing and navigation. So therefore, pretty much he's like, I need you to sail. A super random moment is Kinemon showing up. Well, Kinemon was already there, but him and Whitebeard, they fist bump. Kinemon's like, Whitebeard, leaving Wano happens to be a crime that carries a severe punishment, so Oden really can't leave. And Whitebeard's like, well, you know what? We're on the same page because I'm not taking him with me. And Oden's like, yo, you really didn't have to tell him that. I'm going on this adventure, whether it's legal or not. I need to see the world. I want to see the world. I think this flashback is just giving us moments for us to go back to the actual story and take moments from, because like the Whitebeard thing and Kaido talking about conquerors being in his crew, we had Inu and Neku talking to Marco about the islands in the world. And for them, remember when they said they only think 5 islands exist out there? Marco tells them, well, even if you guessed 10 or 20,000, you still be way off. The world is really vast. It was a crazy throwback for me, going back to Nekomamushi going to find Marco and having a discussion with him on Whitebeard's island, right? Whitebeard's treasure island. Well, when I say treasure island, the place he treasured the most, not that there was actual treasure there, but the place that he treasured. So these moments are in place to deepen your connection with this series. We have a 2-week time skip and Oden is going somewhere and Izo is questioning him like, where are you going? I need to know. And Oden's like, well, I'm a daimyo, remember? A daimyo. And Izo says, okay, go. At the same time, Whitebeard and his crew, they're pulling off. Or should I say Whitebeard and his family, they're leaving. And his crewmates feel bad, but Whitebeard gives them an explanation saying, well, if it was just about strength, guys, he would be great. But if I did accept his request, because Whitebeard now has another excuse. He says the rulers of the country would probably consider it a royal kidnapping, and he said just dealing with that would be a pain, so I don't want to go through that. And again, this is adding to his other excuses of Oden being a conqueror because he didn't have this excuse before Kinemon said something. Something that got lost as well is the fact that the Whitebeard pirates, they left Wano with a treasure. Whatever that treasure is was important enough for Oda to mention it. Let's say this treasure is a poneglyph. And I'm jumping the gun here because this is 30 years ago, but the poneglyphs did exist. Where would Whitebeard's poneglyph be now? Who would be the person that would have it? I would assume Marco or Blackbeard. But obviously, whatever this treasure is, we're going to find out at some point. I was always wondering, how did Izo join the crew, Inuarashi, Nekomamushi? And as the chapter was playing out, as I was reading it, it made so much sense. Because one, Inu and Nekomamushi, they're 2 minks. They're excited about seeing the world. Where have we seen that before? Carrot stowed away on the Straw Hat ship when they went to Whole Cake Island because she was excited about seeing the outside world. Even before it was revealed that Ino Neck was stowed away, I was like, they stowed away. It's obvious that's what they did. And of course, they weren't with Izo and Oden when they were trying to catch Whitebeard's ship, so that was a dead giveaway that they had to be on the ship at some point. But Oden was really intent on joining Whitebeard's crew and leaving Wano, and Izo was really intent on bringing him back to Wano. Like, that was one of his duties. He was a retainer of Oden, and Oden was not allowed to leave Wano. So therefore, he jumped on Oden's back, and Oden has a chain around the Moby Dick, and he's behind the ship holding on for dear life because he wants to go out and see the outside world. Marco's about to undo the chain around the mast, I think, and Whitebeard says, wait, pull up the guy that's holding him back, and only that guy. And at this point, they go over the waterfall. I wonder how Marco was able to actually get Izo, because going over the waterfall, how did you grab Izo and pull him to the ship and leave Oden out there? Because I don't think Izo would do that willingly. So I'm just assuming now Marco can fly and has devil fruit. That's just my assumption. In the meantime, in Wano, people are going crazy because, again, Oden, I don't mean to rub this in, he was the Scabbard's rise to fame. He's the only reason why they're in the positions that they're in. So Kiku's been with her brother for a long time. Now her brother's not there and she's crying. So they're trying to stay calm, but knowing that Whitebeard is no longer there, they can only assume what happened. But first, they wanted to search the entire country. Like I stated before, Whitebeard had his reasons for Oden not joining the crew. Izo at this point is trying to convince Whitebeard to let Oden join the crew because he is so determined to go out to sea. After Izo gets pulled up, Whitebeard goes into even more explanation about why Oden can't join the crew. He says, I turned him down, yet he's still determined to go out with us. I don't want somebody that wild on my crew because that could endanger my family. Like I mentioned before, that's what Whitebeard really cares about. So that's what Whitebeard really cares about. So for Oden being the way he is, it's a huge red flag for Whitebeard. A test. And he didn't have to do this, right? Because even though he didn't want him to join, he wanted to give him a chance. He said to Oden, if he can hold on to the ship for 3 days, he would let him join the crew. Now, we've seen characters in One Piece fight for 5 days, 10 days, 11 hours. So this, as impressive as it is, it's not far-fetched because of how powerful One Piece characters are and the endurance and stamina that they have. Regardless, holding on to a moving ship for 3 days, extremely impressive with the waves he's going through, the fish is going at him. It shows that they went through snow. The rigors of the new world, one of the things they mentioned that was one of the most unpredictable things, the weather. So he's enduring these elements while holding on to a moving ship. Insane! It's an hour left now. And the Whitebeard parts, they're rooting for him because they're like, yo, it's 1 hour left. And even Marco said, yo, he came this far. Don't you think he's pretty much one of us already? Like, he showed that he really wants to be here. What I like here is that even in the last hour, it shows Whitebeard is somewhat concerned that he's going to join the crew, but he has dialogue with Izo. Or Izo is telling Whitebeard, I will never forgive you for making my master go through all this. And again, we have the luxury of knowing what happens, and Izo becomes a commander of Whitebeard's crew. So we know at some point Whitebeard and Izo, they become close enough for Izo to say, I'm going to join Whitebeard and help him on his journey. I think this speaks to the qualities of Oden, that Izo, even through all this, he's still willing to make Whitebeard pay for what he did to Oden, which reveals some of Oden's qualities. We see a woman running away and we find out pretty quickly that it's Amatsuki Toki. It was pretty obvious who she was, and we know Toki was gonna have to turn up at some point because that's Oden's wife, Kinemon's mom, Hiyori's mom. She has to turn up in the story. It seems like some sex traffickers were going after her. That's the only reason why Oden jumped off the ship, or the only reason why he let go of the chain. He came to help her, and therefore he failed Whitebeard's test, technically. It's funny because after everything, Whitebeard's crew was criticizing Whitebeard, saying, yo, you were too harsh. Like, he held on for that long, just 1 hour and he would have done it. Whitebeard, like, why would you do that? Like, they were actually embracing him as one of the crew at this point. A day later, on this same island that Oden stowed away on, saving Toki, it almost seems like he doesn't care that Whitebeard got away because for him, he got out of Wano. And then Toki makes a comment about his amazing vitality where he got healed, or he made a recovery literally the next day. Even though she helped take care of him, recovering that quickly seems superhuman to Toki. It's interesting because Oden says the first person that he meets after leaving Wano is not exotically dressed, which means that I left Wano and the first person I meet looks like they're from Wano. It's weird because Toki then says, well, the truth is I've always dreamed of going to Wano, so please can you guide me there? So it seems like Toki was dressed in Wano garb because her goal was to get to Wano. And Oden had, again, comedy at its finest. Just a disgusted look on his face, like, I am not going back to Wano. I spent so many years of my life trying to get away from Wano. I just got away from Wano. Lady, I am not going back to Wano. It's interesting because after that point, Captain Karma shows up, and Captain Karma, if he looks familiar, that's because he's actually an allied captain of Whitebeard. So again, this flashback is deepening our connection to the series because Captain Karma is somebody that I initially forgot, but then while doing the live reaction on B.D.A, my other channel, you can check that out if you want to see my live reactions every time the chapter comes out. People were mentioning, hey, this guy was somebody that was with Whitebeard at Marineford. Whitebeard just low dips this guy, and then he comes back for Oden. And this led to my favorite part of the chapter because Whitebeard said to Oden, get on board. And Oden says, well, I didn't complete your task. Like, I failed. I let go of the chain. And Whitebeard says, well, you did it to save that woman. You're surprisingly soft. And then he says, we're going to reward you with the adventure of a lifetime, brother. Then he says, for real, Whitey-chan? Why this is so significant is that this is the first time that someone that Whitebeard is going to have on his crew, he acknowledges as somewhat of an equal. He calls him brother instead of son. So initially I had an issue with Whitebeard's test because I said, Whitebeard, why are you doing all this to Oden? You didn't do this to Ace. I'm sure you didn't do this to Blackbeard, any of these other characters, Squad, but you're doing this to Oden. But the outcome makes a lot of sense because he was testing him as an equal or somebody that's walking hand in hand with him, not just becoming his son. You're going to give them a bit more wiggle room because they have to grow. You're preparing them. For Oden, he's going to be your brother in arms. So, and of course at this point, Inarashi and Nekomamushi, they show up and said, well, we were waiting for you. That's why we stowed away. We had a cool panel with Whitebeard talking to Izo saying, well, you said you would never forgive me, right? And Izo says, so what? Are you going to throw me overboard now? And he laughs like, if I feel like it, which is great because we know what happens. Izo becomes a commander of Whitebeard. It's just splendid. Toki then asks Whitebeard to take it to Wano, and that face that Oden made, Whitebeard made the same face, just so disgusted of that question. She's like, okay, whatever. Then just let me stay on the ship. I'll do whatever you want. We then see the adventures of Oden and Whitebeard, and Oden's so excited. They come across an enemy ship. He's slicing it in half without even looting it. They come across a new island. Oden is going himself, not scouting this place first to figure out what's going on. And this entire time, we're getting words from his log. He's never encountered such coldness or such warmth because of course they went through a desert and it looks like they went through some blizzard. They met some strange animals. It looks like they went to Elbath. And there's a scene where Whitebeard is telling Oden to stay back, which I think is an indication that Whitebeard, even as powerful and as charismatic as Oden is, he's still stronger than Oden because Oden is like diving out of the way, right? He says the ideologies, everything was so different. Day by day, I opened my eyes more and more. Everything had surpassed my wildest fantasies. I realized that I was just a tiny speck in this world. We get Toki's age and we find out she was born 800 years ago. The Void Century was about 900 years ago. But I'll make a video separately on that because there's a lot to unpack to make sense of her saying she was born 800 years ago, right? This is Void Century stuff, Joy Boy, Kazuki, Will of D, all that stuff. The chapter actually ends with a bang because we see a young Shanks and a young Whitebeard. At this point, Shanks should be 9, right? So they said, and of course they are part of the Roger Pirates at this point, that they're going all out. But the newspapers keep focusing on Whitebeard. And it seems like their latest recruit is a crazy samurai from Wano. Roger was obviously interested in Wano, so he says, a samurai from that isolated country? I want to meet him. And we see that picture of Roger. That's Ace with a mustache and like, you know, looking a bit older. That's all Ace with the mustache and a goatee, man. That's Ace all day. It's so nostalgic seeing Roger here. Now, for him and why he'd want to meet Oden. Wano is an isolationist country. People are not allowed in, people are not allowed out. So I'm sure for Roger, there's intrigue there, right? Because at the end of the day, he's on an adventure. And I'm sure the stories of Ryuma and the City of Gold, those things were intriguing. So for him, he wants to actually meet someone that lived in Wano. I'm enjoying this. And next chapter can be even better based on the setup here because I presume we get a quick clash between Roger and Whitebeard and Rayleigh and Oden. I really can't wait. This is going to be fantastic. I've been enjoying the flashback so much and it's been getting better and better. So I expect it to surpass this actual chapter. Now, some bad news. One Piece is on break next week and it might be on break for the next 2 weeks for a magazine holiday or magazine break. So for Oda's break, one, and then the magazine break after that, we might not get One Piece for 2 weeks. Now, if we don't get One Piece for 2 weeks, I'll still be dropping videos, but if you don't get a review next week or a week after that, you know that is because the chapter is on break. If anything changes, I'll update you guys in another video, but just to let you know, we might have 2 weeks without One Piece. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Leave your thoughts below. I mean, the Roger and Whitebeard meeting, I'm excited for that. Really, an Oden meeting, I'm super excited for that. The flashback has been great. I think it started really slow and it's really picked up. It's definitely getting us to a place where once we go back to present time, we're going to have a different view of the series. Now, the connection to the scabbards, I think is all based around the charisma of Oden. You're going to care about the scabbards and their plight only if you're invested in Oden. If you believe Oden is the person they say he is, and based on what Oden's been showing, seems like he is, and then some, then you'll care about the scabbards. So great stuff, man. I really enjoyed this chapter, but let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you so much to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.